Tavin will mow your grass and make it look so well. Now Tavin goes donut goals when in town he comes, getting strength for his haunches to cannonball for fun. Tavin ramping up the holler, Tavin trying to make a dollar, Tavin give him a holler, he'll mow your grass today.
Welcome to the Tavindillard podcast, y'all guys. Season's 11's, if we keeping tracks of it, episodes 14's. How in the world are you doing? Me? Doing pretty well. Real good week. I hope your November's is going good. I ain't got to tell you what times of years it is. You know what times of years it is. This ain't your first November's. This ain't your first rodeo in the falls times, as they say. I don't know who said that. I guess it was just me. I'm Tavindillard. You know that already. I'm a mowing edge and grass cutting legend. I got Tavin's lawn care services, and boy, I'm excited about this times of years. Things really pick up speed. They pick up speed like you on the choo-choo train of 2024, and you just chugging toward the New Year's. You're like picking up speed. Hoo-hoo, you know, that kind of thing. There's so much to tell y'all guys about. Now, I'll tell you more about the show notes at the end of the podcast today, but I will say the 2025 calendars is ready and they shipping out. So if you need to know where to put your important dates for next year, you know, you got a softball game, you need to pencil it in, your little kiddo got a t-ball game, you got to go to the foot doctor, you got an appointment at Early Bird Gets the Perm. Mark it down on that. It's a wall calendar so you can put it on your wall, but it's okay if you lay it on a table. I mean, if you want to be a table calendar, I don't know. Boy, I got a little burp coming up. That ain't your problem neither. I'm just so excited about today. Hey, you know one thing, when you get to the end of a podcast season, well, when I do, there's the old, how do you say it, Q&A coming up, questions and answers. So if you want to send them in, the easiest way to do that is email. That's the easiest way for me to keep them organized. That's tavindillard@gmail.com. You got and I'll put that in the show notes today, just a reminder, you know, the email address. But you got a question for me? Y'all provide the content for the last episode of every season. Now, we got a couple weeks before the season 11 ends, but I'm telling you, now would be the time to start sending in them questions if you got one. So make your way over to the reputer and mail off an email, or, you know, however they do that. So it's Thanksgiving times, y'all. So if you listen to this on the day it comes out, we a couple days away from the Thanksgivings, but in our town, we, you know, this past weekend had the parade and everything. Ain't nothing wrong with being thankful is what I say. In fact, there's a whole lot right about being thankful. A whole lot right about it. Make a list if you need to. There's that old song maybe you sang before, count your blessings, name them one by one. You know, it helps. It helps. I'm a tenor, by the way. Did you know that the mayor in our town throws out gravy packets at the Thanksgiving Day parade? Like any town, we've had different mayors over the years. You know, you got a mayor come and go, somebody gets elected, somebody don't, that kind of thing. But we've had different mayors, but all the mayors, one of their jobs is tossing out gravy packets at the Thanksgiving Day parade. Ours was a weekend before Thanksgiving. That's why we just had ours. Like I say, reason how come is because folks is with their families on the Thanksgiving Day. Sure, they might turn on like the Macy Day parades on the TV sets, but lots of folks like being indoors with the family. Now, I know what you're thinking. You don't know my family, Tavin, to which I reply, y'all do know my family, so trust me, I get it. Bud was asking, though, for help with the burger shed float, and I said, buddy, I like Bud. You know, and I like a good float. It's sponsored by the Burger Shed, and it promotes the Burger Shed. It ain't about softball or our softball team, but our team ended up putting in the work on it just naturally, like that away, like we want to help Bud, and so that's how it happened. So that's what we did. That's what we did. We got down there, you know, in a cool, crisp fall weather, and we got down to Bud's place. He lived outside of town. and started steady working on this thing. We worked out at his house. Rance Farnhart brought some chicken wire because for whatever reason, that's the stuff that you need to make a float. Now, I didn't go to school for float building. I don't know if you did, but a lot of chicken wire, because you mash that tissue paper through there, and then you kind of feather it out or fan it out or whatever. I don't know the word for it, y'all guys, because I ain't specifically trained for float building, but I got a handle on it. I mean, I'm telling you, we put one together. But that tissue paper and chicken wire is like standard for your basic float. Lindy Ray Mantell, Cricket. Lindy Ray's married to Cody. They got Daphne and their little boy Trigger, and it don't matter. Cricket was there. Mary Beth Tucker, they was all out there at Bud's, along with the fellas from the softball team to help with the float. Mary Beth Tucker, she's busy with the float because the veterinary was in the parade too. So she helped our float because, we all friends, but then, because it ain't a competition, you ain't getting awards for floats, you just like celebrating town stuff. And then she'd help the veterinary work on Nate's float, which was a Palomino pony. They did a big old float that looked like a Palomino pony. Our town's known for ponies. Not a lot of Palominos, but it do look good for a float, make it like a Palominos. Bud fed us too. So when we was out there and we were steady working on his property, we putting together, me, JT Whitlow, Russell Tucker, Cody Mantell, Myron Curtis, Cody Briggs, Brody Childress. Anyway, our team. Anyways, we all out there, just getting together, talking it up, catching up, what's going on, and then Bud steady feeding us. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, we was having, at one point, Rusty Tidwell mentioned that he used to skydive. You know how you working on something with your buddies and somebody just mentioned something that they used to do? It's just part of the conversation. You ain't trying to go do skydiving, or are you? Now, this don't really surprise us that Rusty Tidwell, skydive, because he's the kind of guy who has some courage and he good at anything he do. What did surprise us was when Mort Dwidell said he can hang glide. You know about hang gliding? Hold on, Mort. I believe this if you said like skydive. Like if Mort said, well, I skydived before, I can get on board with that because all you do is jump out the plane and you let gravity take over kind of thing. But it seems to me that if you hang glide, you got to have some upper arm strength and coordination. Now, I don't know that. I did not go to school for hang gliding, but I'm pretty sure, like I've seen videos of what folks got to do, and that's a little more than just dropping out the plane and remembering to pull ripcord kind of thing. And I imagine skydiving is a little more than that too, but all I'm saying is it seems like them's the basics. And I know that Mort's got some upper arm strength, for the softball swing power, because he can hit dingers. He got that. But you trying to direct some wings that's attached to your arms against the wind, I don't know the math or science behind any of that, but I figured it ain't easy. Well, Russell asked Mort, did you have a little bodysuit on? And JT Whitlow asked, did you have to shave your body, Mort? JT's kind of laughing. No, I didn't have to, he said, but I got a windsuit on, and I had a helmet, and you got to protect your head, and you got them goggles. You don't want a bird in the eye. Well, I guess you don't. I heard about them birds that can take out like an airplane on account of how they fly into the engine or get stuck in the engine like Attaway. You heard of that too? Like a little birdie took out an airplane. Boy, you got to be careful. Them birds was like, boy, we had wings before y'all guys did, kind of thing. Like, look out for me. I ain't as big as you. I ain't a big old metal plane, but I'll take you out, and they do sometimes. I don't think they do it on purpose because a bird don't survive, getting sucked into an airplane engine, best I know. So Rusty asked Mort, hey, can you still hang glide? And Mort's just like, oh, yeah, it's like riding a bike. I can still hang glide. And then Rusty says, well, there's a place I know that sends them off not more than 15 miles outside of town. A little cliff where you jump off and then you hang glide and it's fun. Rusty told him that, like, hey, there's a place nearby kind of thing. Like, well, where's this going, Rusty? And I tell him right now, I was like, nope, we ain't doing this, fellas. I seen you on your front yard trampoline, Mort. We ain't going to jeopardize your life on account of your pride, so we ain't going to do this. And Mort's like, I ain't going to jeopardize my life, Tavin. It's like, fine, we all agree you can do it, but you ain't gonna. Let it go, Rusty. We got a float to build. I'm telling these fellas, man, you get a couple guys together and somebody says, I can do it, and another guy says, no, you can't, and another guy says, prove it, all that kind of thing. Next thing you know, you in a whole different world you planned on being. Ain't nobody gonna build a float now. We got people wanting to run and put on windsuits and goggles and wings on their arms and jumping off a cliff like we can't go that way right now. We can't go that way, y'all guys. I'm over there knowing like a ice cream bar will destroy Mort's guts because he got that milk trait behageny where he can't have no dairy, and he's thinking he can put on a windsuit, helmet, goggles, and wings and just be dandy flying off a cliff. Come on, Mort. Well, Mort's wife wasn't there yet, Donna Glenda, or she would have shut that down. None of the ladies was outside when that happened. That's how it goes sideways in them conversations. There ain't nobody just like trying to step in and say, hey, let's get back on track. And well, I guess it was me this time because I was steady wanting to do a really good float for Bud. The gals was in Bud's garage and they's actually working on the burger part of the float. Not eating the food, but making the burger out of chicken wire and that tissue paper and all that. Now, Myron Curtis, he started talking about how he could do a backflip on a trampoline in high school. Well, this ain't high school, Myron, and I seen you lose it trying to hop over a tree limb on the ground, so let's not get into that. Listen, I say, y'all guys, we all got skills at something, but y'all are pulling out skills you ain't got now, and that's okay. Just let it go. It's one thing to say, I used to do that, and they say, oh, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you used to do that. But when you got a guy saying, oh, yeah, did you used to do that? I bet you can't do it now. And then it's like, well, I bet I can, and you see where this is going. Boy and fellas just going at each other. Well, we was all yapping, and then Bud wanders into his yard. I mean, Bud's got acreage, so we have plenty of room to spread out, and Bud ain't got neighbors. He and Nita, they way out there. Anyhow, he says, the mayor fell off a boat dock and busted his arm. Come again? You mean the mayor who's supposed to be winging out gravy packets at the parade? Which arm, Myron asked. Both, Bud says. So it turned out, I don't know if he likes them polar plunges because it's been colder weather and he was going to jump into a body of water that's got a boat dock on it. Turned out he got his arms caught in a tank top when he's about to go swimming, ate it with both arms kind of pinned in front of him, so he's in a world of hurt, you can imagine. So Bud says, we need some fellas who can wing gravy packets off the Burger Shed float in this year's parade. Well, the cheers went up for all of us. You asking a bunch of softball players to throw stuff at a Thanksgiving Day parade? Buddy, we in. Glad to hear the mayor's okay, but we thankful for the opportunity. Work got a little more focused as the night went on this float now, because we knowed our float had to be ready. Cricket, she got a good eye for the art thing too. Her and Lindy Ray and Mary Beth, they brought the burger out and we start putting all the pieces together. Bud's got a trailer, that he's going to pull the float on flatbed kind of thing. And now he's also going to be pulling Team Burger Shed winging gravy packets. I mean, there's a lot to be thankful for. We worked into the evening. I'm thinking my night's done once I pull back to Chancellor Park in my Ford Ranger. But turns out there was a little more to do. Meemaw's porch light was on, and there was a broom on my front porch. And when I see that combo, that means she wants to talk to me when I'm back in the trailer park. So I head over there, and I see what in the world my Meemaw wants. Well, I walk into that trailer, and Meemaw's steady pacing the floor, and all them baby dolls is off the shelf, and they sitting on that futon that she tried to get rid of before, but she sure ain't yet. It ain't a clean futon, y'all guys, and if you ever heard me talk about it in one of my podcast episodes, you know the mess it is. But it's familiar. It's familiar to her. She know it kind of thing. So in her mind, it's clean enough for them baby dolls. But there's plenty of things they far less clean that she won't let them baby dolls touch. But somehow that futon's okay, so I don't know. What I do know is that I walk into her trailer, and there's Becky Thacker Haynes, Clarice Bonwell, Beatrice Gale Merton, Babs Gristle, Nurse Wylena Parchman, and Rachel Christine. What's going on, Meemaw? I don't know what I'm going to do, she said like that away. You know how somebody's the way they say it, they really ain't sure. You can tell when somebody's worried or scared or something bothering them. The way they say it, they could say the same thing. Two people could say the same thing, but the way they say it, it kind of means something different. How you doing? Fine, how are you? Right? Okay, everybody's good. How you doing? Fine, how are you? They say the same thing, but you say, boy, something else going on there. Something else going on underneath the surface, as they say. Something happening there. So anyways, Meemaw tell me, I don't know what I'm going to do. And boy, she flustered. like that away. And I mean, I know she had to be. It was later at night, and she left her porch light on, had that broom on my front porch, so she needed to talk right then and there. She didn't know nothing could wait till morning. She wasn't going to come knocking on my trailer door in the morning to chat about this. Boy, she wasn't going to be able to get to sleep, y'all guys. I mean, that's how it seemed to be. You know, when I walk in her trailer and ask her that, and I see her there, and she said that to me, I think, boy, Meemaw wasn't going to be able to sleep without having a little conversation with me like that away. And I said, what do you not know, Meemaw, about what? You know, what you going to do about what? And she says, about this. I mean, she hollers at me, and she motioned into that line of baby dolls on the futon. I said, Meemaw, you got to give me more than that. Why am I here? Well, like, what do you want to talk to me about? And she said, Gracie said I can only bring 3. Gracie Dilroy, I asked. Well, what other Gracie do we know, Tavin? Yes, Gracie Dilroy. And I said, well, you got to give her 3 of your baby dolls? No, Meemaw hollers. And I said, can you just spell this out for me? I'm just getting a little flustered at this point. I don't know what Meemaw want. I don't know why Gracie has anything to do with 3 of Meemaw's baby dolls. Like, just tell me what in the world's going on. I feel like I'm getting skydived or hang glided into the middle of a conversation that I don't know nothing about. And she said, Early Bird Gets the Perm has a float in the Thanksgiving parade, and Gracie asked if I could bring a few baby dolls for the float. And I said, what does that have to do with Early Bird Gets the Perm? I don't even get that. She said, lots of the gals down there like them baby dolls, Tavin, and them baby dolls got pretty hair. Okay, fine. So you get to pick 3 of your baby dolls to put on a float? Well, don't pick Babs Gristle if you want to promote nice hair on them baby dolls, because she looks like she got her hair cut with a broken Coke bottle. I know, Tavin, I just don't want them to fight on the float. Who? You know, I'm asking Meemaw, who are you worried is going to fight on the float? And then Meemaw points to Beatrice Gilmerton and Rachel Christine. Now, here's where I don't know how I can help y'all, because now she's talking crazy. She's telling me that these baby dolls who ain't even alive, they can't eat food, they ain't got digestive systems, they can't move, they ain't got real brains, they baby dolls, she's saying they gonna fight, or that they might fight on the Early Bird Gets the Perm Thanksgiving float. Come on, Meemaw. So I'm over here at her trailer for more time than I needed to be, trying to help her pick 3 baby dolls for the Early Bird Gets the Perm float. Rachel Christine, she was a shoo-in, I figured, so that leaves us with 2 more we got to pick. So Meemaw just has to make a choice. She surprised me by picking Nurse Wylena Parchman and Becky Thacker Haynes. I guess she thought if Rachel Christine got hurt, it's good to have a nurse on the float with her. I don't know. I didn't want to get into it. You know, truth be told, the more questions you ask, the longer you standing in Meemaw's trailer when it's bedtime. There's a little pride involved there too. I think Meemaw gets to show off them baby dolls to the town, and I think the risk of having them baby dolls out on that float is worth the reward of that, you know, many folks getting to see Meemaw's baby doll, especially her favorite, Rachel Christine. Once that was settled, I was off to bed. Kind of hard to sleep though. I didn't realize how excited I was about the Burger Shed float and our new job on that float. It was quite the honor. So the actual parade, y'all, it started at 10 a.m. on the Saturday, this past Saturday. So it wasn't an early day. I was able to get up, get some work done, couple clients' houses, you know, yard cleanup, that kind of thing. And then we had to check in at the 8:30 a.m. at the parade route. Now, Cindy Mydell, she was at the beginning of this parade route where all the floats line up, not where spectators supposed to line up, but where if you in the parade, you supposed to be. If you spectator, you don't even need to be there yet. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to wait 2 hours unless, I mean, you just need to be in the front of the line to see something. But either way, it's not like we got the biggest town in the world where folks can, and like every view's a pretty good view. Anyhow, Cindy back there, and she got no business being there. What was she doing there, you ask? Well, there's trucks pulling all these floats. You know about that, these trucks. But these fellas would step out of their trucks and talk to each other, and while they waiting for the parade to start. There's just a lot of, once you set in place, you just waiting. You know, you want to wait for the parade. You don't want the parade waiting for you. That's basically how it is. Well, Cindy Mydell was opening up the doors to them trucks and looking for spare change, candy, you name it. She ain't honest, and that's the truth. Sticky Finger Cindy, always working an angle. She got shooed away from a truck, but now she had to go to buy coffee for one of them fellas because she took his. You know, she got caught. And like, boy, you got to get me another coffee. You can't be taking coffee out of my truck and drinking it. And so that's how that goes. So she at the parade, if she could just wait a little while, folks are going to be throwing out all kind of free stuff her way. That's how a parade works, Cindy, including gravy packets. Now, you might make gravy from scratch, and that's fine. All that means is that if you catch a packet at the parade, you can save it and put it in somebody's Christmas stocking if you don't want to keep it. I've seen young children catch an elbow over a gravy packet at a parade before. I mean, people fight for these things. They want them. I'm telling you right now, they want them. Now, Cricket and the Nursin Home, they also had a float at the parade. They figure it's easy to keep up with all them folks at the Nursin Home if they all on the float than if they was standing around being spectators at a parade. I think that's a pretty good call. And they give them candy to throw. That keeps them engaged too. You know, they got something to do. You know, part of it's just having the arm strength to wing it off the trailer there, because it could just land by their feet, and then, you know, that ain't like a surprise either to just see a bunch of candy around somebody's feet on the Nursin Home float parade, because they just couldn't wing it out far enough to get it off the trailer. But some of them can't, so some of the candy do get off of there. You don't want Dewey Morton and Doreen Fundle hanging around with idle time on their hands just on the sideline spectating in a parade, so putting them on a float is probably a good call. Dewey, actually, he didn't come to the parade because they didn't know if they could handle him. Sore mischievous. Dewey Morton is sore mischievous. Well, it's about time to start, y'all. We got the high school marching band starting things off. Folks have lined the streets. It's a real exciting atmosphere, and the weather ain't too cold, but it's crisp. Kids ain't in school, you know, Saturday, so you know they happy, and it's Thanksgiving break, and they about to catch candy and other stuff that gets thrown, so you know they pumped. And we are celebrating gratitude. And when you slow down and see what you really got, there's a whole bunch to be thankful for. Like Cindy Meidel, for instance. At the end of the day, I guess she didn't have to buy that fella a coffee to replace the one she drank, but she went and did it. So I'd say there's hope for her too. You know Cheryl Grubbs has some junior cheerleaders out there too. Here's the deal. If you playing music or doing cartwheels and cheers, you ain't throwing candy and whatnot. I mean, you kind of picking one or the other to do at a parade. Either you entertaining or you giving out candy. But once them floats show up where people just sit on them, they throwing candy. So you got a mix of entertainment and gift giving at a parade. That's a beautiful thing. My meemaw, she heard it wasn't just fruit candy, but also chocolate they was tossing out. So she made her way to the parade route. Not to mention her baby dolls was on the early bird gets the perm float, so she's gonna be there anyhow. But then she got there, tried to get a little better spot after she heard about that chocolate. And that was one of the first floats after the entertainment was the early bird. The gals was fine, and by gals I mean Becky Thacker Haynes, Nurse Wylena Parchman, and of course, Meemaw's favorite baby doll. Say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Rachel Christine! Truth be told, they was hard to see on the float, but Meemaw knowed they was there. You know, they little baby dolls, and you know, when it's just getting pulled by, there's other people on the float, bigger ladies with bigger perms, and so you just see that. But anyhow, she had a good time. Mabel Childress lined up on the other side of the parade route, and they want folks to stay on one side of the road till the parade's over. Something else to be thankful for. So we're getting down there, ready to start our journey down Main Street. Everybody's there except Brody Childress. Everybody knows the time to be there. Myron Curtis has tore open a gravy packet, and he sniffed it. What in the world, Myron? We got to toss these to the crowd. What are you doing? He said he would have probably caught one anyway if he's in the crowd, so he's just taking his now. And I told him he needed to fold over at the top a few times so that powder don't leak out. You know how you get the gravy packet, you tear it open, that powder come loose, so you got to fold it over a couple times, 2, 3 times. I mean, 4 to be safe. Why in the world are you going to sniff a gravy packet? He had gravy dust on his nose. It's that brown turkey gravy packet. You know the one. Anyhow, Bud hands out gravy packets to all of us fellas, and he told us to pace ourselves. We don't want to throw them all on the first block, and there ain't no packets left for the folks at the end of the parade route. So you got to, you know, there's a little bit of science. There's like a real art to it. And your standard citizen, they might not be aware of that. All that goes into gravy packet throwing on a Thanksgiving Day parade route. You know, serious stuff. Our float took off. We were right behind the Nursin Home float. Cricket was on there sitting next to Doreen Fundle, who had a bowl of individually wrapped Jolly Ranchers to toss out. You know, them hard candies. And Cricket was going to help her. The Nursin Home float was like a standard flatbed trailer. And there was this, the theme was like Thanksgivin past, so they was all dressed up, mostly in old-timey farm clothes. It was like an old kitchen table with a long table with a tablecloth over it and a fake turkey and sides and plates on there. It's just for looks, not really to eat kind of thing. Doreen Fundle and Elmore Fisdale, they sat at the table with Cricket and Vera Gregory. They's all dressed old-timey, even Cricket. Vera didn't have a chair at the table because she sits in her wheelchair and they just locked them wheels so she don't roll off that flatbed. So all in all, it's pretty economical float. Like they didn't have big thrills and frills, but it looked good. You know, it was a standard good float. And when you got candy on it, people paying attention. They only had a few residents on it though, but it's well done. And they throwed out them Jolly Ranchers and they waved. They did all they supposed to do. And so we, Burger Shed, we are behind that float. The Nursin Home float. Our float has a giant burger in the middle of it. There's a huge cup, just like the one serves them milkshakes in, with a giant straw in it at the Burger Shed, and then banners on the side that says Bud's Burger Shed. Them the same banners he takes and hangs up at them community events that he participates in. Well, it's gravy packet time. The mayor's still going to sit on our float, even though he ended up, he was going to sit on our float, but he had them busted arms, but he ended up with a black eye from the fall. And he didn't want to scare them kids with 2 busted arms and a black eye, so he just sat at the end of the parade route in a lawn chair. And we told him we'll take it from here kind of thing. J.T. Whitlow, he really winged a gravy packet, and the family that was on the grass in front of the bank, they surprised it made it to them. You know folks in the front row expect to get stuff, but some of them folks way off the street, they ain't sure. And so you can be real surprised if something land right by you. So we had a few of us get in the front row, you know, the people that's in the front row of the parade route. Some do in the middle, some fellas winging them really far. If we ain't careful, we're liable to mess around and have a job doing this next year. So we had a lot of fun on it, truth be told, but it's still a job. Well, when we got to the middle of the parade route, there's a commotion in front of us. Well, turns out on that Nursin Home float, Dewey Morton was on it. He didn't stay back at the nursing home. He was hiding under that long tablecloth, and he popped out from under that table wearing a brown sweatsuit and a turkey mask. Boy, he thought he was a hoot. He's hollering at people. He's hollering gobble, gobble, and then folks in the crowd, they gobbling back at him. Cricket was mortified. It ain't funny to her because he's supposed to be at the nursing home, and the fact that he ain't means somebody didn't do their job. Well, now kids want their pictures taken with the turkey at the end of the parade route. Dewey Morton is so mischievous. I seen Meemaw glaring at me, throwing her hands in the air because she ain't got a gravy packet. So I told the whole team, I said, throw one at Meemaw. She's liable to catch one of them. So we did, and she picked it one up before the folks, swooped in to get the others, and she just giving me a glare like you didn't need to make that big a deal out of it, Tavin. Like her mouth didn't say that, but her glare did. And she went on down to the end of the parade route, loaded up her baby dolls in that 91 Buick Regal. They survived the parade with no dirt, no damage. I mean, that's a win right there. You know the definition of a successful parade? No gravy packets left, no injuries, lots of happy, thankful town folks. And that's exactly what we had. Cricket had her hands full for a while writing up a report for the turkey. They had to figure out how Dewey snuck onto the float because he wasn't going to tell. I seen Cindy Mydell leaving with a bag of candy and 2 gravy packets. See, Cindy? Just be patient. Lots to be thankful for. Did I ever dream I'd have the privilege of being one of the folks winging gravy packets into the crowd at a Thanksgiving Day parade in town? Sure didn't, but here I am. I bet if you made a list, you'd see some pretty cool stuff going on in your life too. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I'm thankful for you. Enjoy your week. Feel free to check them show notes to get started on that shopping you might want to do. That 2025 wall calendar is available. Personal video greetings. I wish somebody a probably happy Thanksgiving too late, but the happy Merry Christmas, happy birthday. You see the new shirts, the Peekaboo shirts there. I got my new profile picture shirt, got a new Chancellor Park shirt. Team Burger Shed book, Tavin's Bacon Bag, they still $4 off right now. It's all there in the show notes today. We got the whole list for you. Don't eat too much this week, and if you do, have them sweat britches ready. And hey, if you didn't get both arms stuck in a tank top this week and fall face first on a boat dock, you having a pretty good week. And if you did have that happen, I hope you got a team ready to pick up the slack. Me, I'm Tavindillard. This is the Tavindillard Podcast. Till next time, y'all guys. We'll see you later.